and welcome to EBAday 2019 in Stockholm. I'm Hannah Wallace, and kindly joining me now in the TV studio is Marc Recker from Deutsche Bank. Hello Marc, it's lovely to see you. Thank you for joining us.
Doing good.
So the first thing I want to talk to you about is your strategic roundtable that you had on today at EBAday, the title of which was Global Transaction Banking, the Art of the Possible. To start off then, could you tell us the thought behind the title and some of the key points that were brought up?
More than welcome. At the end, the title, The Art of the Possible for Transaction Banking, is at the end a combination on how the industry, how the transaction banking industry will solve the issue around, on the one hand side, the growing client demand and all the cost and investment that the transaction banking brings along with. So the combination of those was really seen as the art of the possible.
All right, well, following on from that, how do you see the development of the transaction banking industry?
I'd say I see the developments more or less on the bright side, because purely fact-based, you see that transaction volumes are on the rise, potentially not in the numbers that you have seen over the last couple of years, but they are still growing. So from a transaction volume perspective, and subsequently as well for the revenues for the bank, it's working out fine. On the other hand, you have to see the developments that the industry collaboratively did already over the last couple of years. You see developments around open banking that are kicking off, instant payment schemes are kicking off, new things like request to pay, all these kind of things are coming together, and if you combine those, you can really create powerful solutions for end clients that are solving their respective business problems. But all these things doesn't work without the commitment itself. We, for example, as Deutsche Bank, we got the full commitment from our board that transaction banking is key to Deutsche Bank, and that makes, on the one hand side, life easier, but on the other side, you have to deliver on the promises you made.
So that's how the industry is developing, but what are the main drivers for this development?
Drivers in transaction banking, on the one hand side, is how do you use in an efficient way all these new technologies that are around you. It's not to create solutions, but there is no problem. You have to be able to understand the market and really decide on what you develop. The other aspect as well is going on the collaborative effort between the industry. As a bank, especially in transaction banking, creating a solution in silo doesn't really work, because you are creating a solution for the network.
And now you've touched on this already, but what are some of the main challenges you're seeing in this journey?
The challenges that I would see is definitely the piece around time to market. Up to now, I would say client demand. If you look at the retail side, if you look at corporates, they are looking for much more smaller time frame when the solution needs to come to the market, needs to be ready. And that is very difficult in the current environment, because there is a lack of standardization. There are a multitude of investment every single bank needs to do to comply with all the different things. And that is especially something which is taking a lot of lead time, and this is really impacting the time to market. And there, collaboratively in the industry, we have to become much more better.
Well, following on from that very nicely, and collaboration is the point I wanted to end on really. It's a huge area of discussion at EBAday, but why is it so important? We're seeing sort of a shift in mentality between the banks, not becoming so isolated. So why is it so important, collaboration?
I think we have a good track record when you look at collaboration piece. Take the example of Swift GPI back in 2016, when everybody was looking on a whiteboard to see what can we do. Now we have 2019, and we have achieved a lot in that time frame. And it was the collaborative effort between the banking industry and Swift, for example. The same thing is looking at the development of instant payment scheme. Banks themselves do collaborate very well, and I think that is something, in my view, where we have to leverage on. What we see, we have to bring collaboration beyond the industry. We have not only to listen to our clients, we have to ask them to co-create solutions with them that are meeting their needs from the start. It doesn't make sense to build a product that nobody buys. You have really to understand and to endorse the respective pieces around, let's say, the client co-development. And last but not least, when you look at the value chain, what doesn't need to be underestimated is as well the collaboration with regulators. It's on the one hand side the industry, the client, but as well also regulators, because they also need to understand the respective developments on the market. But there we see also good movement in that direction, that there is that continuous dialogue.
Sure. Well, Marc, thank you so much for your insights. This has been very interesting. Thank you.
Thank you.